All right, everyone. Hello and good evening. Welcome to another edition of Fridays with Frankie. I am your host, Frankie Aberlon, along with my best friend, co-host, and co-founder of the Frankie and Ding Dong Show, Ding Ding Dong.
How you guys doing tonight on a Friday evening? Actually in March now, even though it doesn't seem like it, we're going to get another foot dumped on us tomorrow.
Yeah.
Starting late tonight, overnight sometime.
Yeah, I think around they said anytime after midnight, and it's going to wrap up by like 5 or 6 o'clock tomorrow. So it's going to be pretty quick and fast for a foot of snow. So
yeah. That being said, it did play havoc on our youth programs tomorrow, so all of which have been canceled.
Yep.
So the state high school team event canceled, as well as youth bowling league is canceled for tomorrow because of the weather. So
absolutely. So we just want to welcome everyone in. We see some viewers checking in already, which is great. We welcome all kinds of commentary. We're going to have a lot of back and forth. Definitely going to cover a whole bunch of different topics tonight. Anywhere from our high score shout outs. We're going to talk about a couple of upcoming tournaments. We're going to review the BoPo All Star tournament that just happened. We have, as you see here, a plethora of awesome looking equipment here. Some HK22 stuff here on the table as well. And
begging to get holes.
Holes in them. Absolutely. Going to get to those this weekend. And maybe I'll do a little live stream from the shop this weekend while drilling some balls and talking to people while I've got the press on. I think that might be kind of fun. So, but anyways, interactive show. We want you guys, want your feedback. We want your comments. Anything that you think we screw up or do well, let us know.
Yeah.
We're here for you guys, amateur bowlers, for the amateur bowlers. That's what it's all about. So,
plus, trust us, we'll screw up. Just like bowling is a game of misses, you will find some misses on our show, and that's what makes it a little bit more interesting for you.
We got Sunny D coming in, checking in on the Facebook page. Hi, guys. And we're going with a little different format for, if you see on the screen, we're trying a little different bubble thing there. So
text box,
box. So kind of cool. So, and what I like is it shows us where people are commenting from, whether it's from the Twitch, from YouTube, or from Facebook, which is awesome. So
yeah, very cool. Yeah, I noticed that when because Smash Jackson, he usually comments from the YouTube feed.
Yeah.
And I noticed how it comes in a little bit differently.
It's cool. Yeah.
And it's very cool. You guys feel free to comment from any of our platforms. Again, we're running live on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, and our Twitch stream. So.
Absolutely. We got Big Tony McMillan checking in, excited for Carl's next week. So are we.
Yeah,
it's a very interesting tournament. The field is packed. We're going to get into it more, but that top 24 is going to be a race to those last few spots. So it's going to be, I know Ding Dong and I are both. I'm in the top 24. I think you're just outside it.
Yeah, I'm racing.
So it's going to be a wild finish. So It should be a fun tournament next week. But we'll definitely get into all that as well. So let's get right into our first thing. We'll talk about our high score shout outs. I'd like to start with one of our former teammates from Catalina Wine Mixer, the state championship team, Derek Webb, a.k.a. Latch, 300 the other night at Just In Time Recreation.
Last night.
What was he using for a ball? Was it the Scorpion Sting?
The Scorpion Sting, yeah. He was bowling on the same pair that I was subbing with Team Mater Sauce. His father and their team, and the owner of Just In Time Recreation, Justin Jarrett. Yeah. And the team we were bowling against, the former Morris Pro Shop, now the Speed Bowlers. Latch is the anchor for that team. And for good reason. You know, he's always been a great bowler.
Steady.
And last night he was just throwing down rack after rack, and really nice shots right in the pocket, carrying very nice. Had a great shape to the ball, and the
12th one looked like a pretty high flush hit, pretty good shot, for your 12th one, and that's his first one this season. I'm pretty sure he's had 300s in the past. It's not his first one, but just wanted to give him a big shout out on that 300 game. We also talked to our own Master Splinter, owner of Boulder Builders Pro Shops, where we both work. He didn't have an honor score per se the other night, but he had 30 strikes out of 36 frames. That is incredible strike percentage. I think he shot like 780, 770 something.
Yeah, a huge 700 series.
Monster set for sure. But he also, I think, since before our last show, shot a 300 game at Just In Time with the Katana Assault.
He did, yeah.
So I think that was actually in between shows. So that's a high score shout out for Master Splinter for a 300.
Absolutely, yeah. And it had been a little while for him to shoot that 300 number, so he was pretty happy about it. So
Yeah, so Sonny D says, me and KDD need a good showing in the last Carlson. Make it. Yeah, I know you guys are kind of both in that same.
I think I'm like 14 points out or something like that right
now. Yeah, just a good showing. You guys obviously both can do it. Hopefully I'm there with you guys, so all three of us can get in. It'd be great. Yeah. That last tournament of the year, that points tournament's a lot of fun. Top 24 one. So, but yeah, so any other high score shout outs you guys know about, please let us know. We can actually circle back to that at any point during the show. If let us know how the volume is and everything. I just always like to check that with people as we're going in the show.
Yeah, for sure.
If we ever need to adjust anything, please let us know. We think we get it nailed pretty good, but we don't always get it. So,
and with the new equipment, we have quite a few different options of adjustments and such. So
yeah, for sure. So
to try to make it best for you guys, the viewers. You know, I mean, that's what we're here for. Amateur bowlers for the amateur bowler, and high score shout outs. That's one of our ways of giving back to you guys. If you know of any other high scores, just let us know. I think Ed Cotter had his second 300 of the season.
Yes, Ed Cotter 300 up at Family Fun Lanes. Yeah, congratulations to Ed. Absolutely. So Brian Gaskell says it sounds good, boys. So that's
good. Good to hear from you, Grindem. Always love seeing you.
Got my boy checking in here. So.
Oh yeah, El Chapo.
He says he's gonna watch.
Yeah,
he's gonna be. How about that, AJ Chapman tuning in? So speaking of AJ Chapman, we want to give a huge shout out right now.
Yeah,
congrats to RBF and Chap Daddy on their engagement. Gonna be getting married. Cheers!
Cheers!
Clink cups on that. My daughter, obviously Avery. I'm super proud dad.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was awesome. We were able to do a surprise. AJ set up an amazing surprise with talking to me and my wife about it, setting up the venue, one of the most iconic venues you can go to at Portland Headlight.
Yeah,
I mean probably the most iconic lighthouse in the United States of America.
One of them. Yeah,
one of them.
Sure.
It's in the short list, and to be able to have him surprise her with that, and just it was such a great day. And obviously she said yes, which was amazing, and as being a father, and you never know how you're going to feel in that situation. I mean, someday you'll probably be there too.
Yeah.
But you want your daughter to find the right person that's going to treat her well and everything. And I couldn't be more happy with AJ and just the type of person he is. He's such an honest person. Such a good person. He's so good to Avery. They're such a great match together. They have great chemistry, and he's already a part of the family to me. And I love him like a son, not just a son-in-law already. It's amazing how fast you can develop that relationship, and it's been awesome. So congratulations to both of them. And I mean, I get a little emotional just talking about it.
Absolutely.
It's been a wild, quick ride, but it's been an awesome ride, and I'm super happy for both of them. Got to meet AJ's parents, and they're both phenomenal people, John and Sheila Chapman, if they happen to be watching. We got to host them up at our house here for a few days.
Yep.
It was great to get to know them, and really looking forward to meeting the rest of his family and some more of his friends, and obviously him getting to know us better. And really special thing that's going on, and I'm so excited for the both of them. I can't say enough.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Big congratulations to both you, RBF and El Chapo. You guys are so cute together. It was, congratulations to both families. It's awesome to see you guys together. It was great to meet AJ's parents, because now it almost seems like we've hung out with AJ enough where we're really getting to be good friends with him.
Absolutely.
And it was really, really cool to have them there cheering on the Sharks for our BoPo night. AJ,
they're hanging out with us all night.
AJ is a Shark. He's on our taxi squad, right?
Yeah.
And they were back there, and AJ and even AJ's mom were shark fitting.
And
it
was awesome.
it was really, really cool to have the whole kind of family back there, because RBF was back there, Miss Brady was back there, everyone was back there behind us.
Yeah.
AJ's parents, John and Sheila. It was just one of those really cool moments in time, because not only was all that coming together, but we were also bowling against Saucy Posse, not Saucy.
Yeah, some of our really good friends, you know, people, and
it's just one of those cosmically amazing moments in time. I will remember it for a long time. Big shout out to all those people involved, and also Egg Roll, man, on the
killing it on the DJ.
Like, just
never got a DJ night.
Just absolutely took it to the next level.
He always does. And,
awesome night. You know, post engagement, obviously, probably made it even that much more special. Yeah,
it definitely did. It was, you know, it definitely added to the whole thing. And I'll tell you the cool thing, and you know, it gets back to the respect factor and the type of person that AJ is. He actually had talked to and come up to me and my wife, you know, weeks and weeks before. This had all started to get planned, and he had actually asked us for Avery's hand in marriage, you know, going old school, talking to us as her parents and having that respect for us. And that went such a long way with both of us. We already knew that AJ was such a phenomenal person before then, and it just added that much more to everything. And, you know, we all, the three of us, were really planning this kind of behind Avery's back, and she had no idea, because you know, he wanted to make this as special for her and for himself as possible, and it could not have gone any better. It was such a phenomenal weekend, and I'm so proud of both of them. They're both. I'm looking forward to their future as much as, you know, anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's going to be moving down to Texas. They're going to be moving in together and starting that next chapter of their life. And you know, I can't wait for the wedding when that happens. And I want to give a huge shout out while I'm here to Nut Sauce, Mallory Nutting, and also to Master Splinter. Mallory kind of went incognito, like with a very nice camera for us, and like basically so Avery didn't know she was there, freezing to death outside waiting for us to get there at the Portland Headlight. But it was awesome. She got some fantastic still photos of the event.
Absolutely.
John took a great video of it. My job was to get their song, which is a song by Of Mice and Men. I wish I could remember the name of it. I want to say Where Did You Sleep Last Night, but that's a Nirvana cover. It's something like that name though, but it's a great song. It's their song. And so my job was, he threw her off with a bracelet. He got her a beautiful bracelet that I believe White Russian had actually found for him. So I was hanging on to it until he came here.
Yep.
So he threw her off with that gift first, so because it was almost her birthday. So she thought if she was just going there for her birthday, he's going to give her that present. And then he hits her with his speech, which was so emotional. And then hit her with the ring. Hey, speaking of checking in, John Chapman checking in. Hey guys, hey John.
Yeah.
We had such a good time. I was just saying, we had such a good time having you and Sheila here. It was just great. Looking forward for our families to get to know each other even better. We had such a good time with you guys. I cannot wait to see you guys again already. It was great, and obviously you guys, our home is open. You're welcome here anytime. And so just talk about how great it was, and getting to know AJ, and you know, looking at him as the son I never had, you know, and it's great now that to kind of just feel that it just feels right, you know, sometimes things feel right, and it's great. So it was just, the whole thing was great. AJ did a great job with the proposal and getting down on one knee in the snow and all that stuff. So it was awesome. So
I mean,
it was so much fun.
And let's face it, you know, it might be hard for some to integrate with, you know, like us and into the show, and AJ fits right in. You know, like, it's a pretty good match all the way around. And, you know, like I said, Tuesday night was just kind of one of those cosmically amazing evenings.
Yeah, sometimes you get those stars to just line up, and it's just phenomenal.
Yeah, and it was
cool. It's great, you know.
You know, and like I said, just watching back and seeing like the whole family shark finning with us and just cheering us. It was just one of those very, very cool nights.
It was great.
Sure. Yeah.
Got some comments coming in. Sunny D says another Bayside couple. Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Big Tony says, yeah, you're pulling on my daddy heartstrings too. I'm telling you,
yeah.
There's nothing prepares you for that moment. And having such a phenomenal guy like AJ propose to her made it so much easier for me to just enjoy that moment and not worry that, you know, I know that this is the right person for her. So
yeah.
It was awesome. So then we have Randy Plummer, Couch says, proud dad moment. So happy for all of you. Thank you. Stephen Cloutier checking in. Hello, Frankie and Ding Dong up here in Rutland this weekend. Hello, Stephen.
Hey, good luck.
And then John checks in again saying it was great meeting you guys. Sheila and I had a great time. Well, I'm glad you did. And got John his first Maine lobster experience, and we got him to do candlepin bowling for the first time, which Avery took us all to school on that one. She won. I think John finished second, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah, we had a good time. Had some good seafood. Had made some lifelong memories. Sheila made us a phenomenal homemade broccoli and cheese soup. Phenomenal, by the way. And this wonderful like cabbage dish with cabbage and onions and fried and cheese in it. It was really good. Something they make there that I've never had before, but I'll tell you, I definitely want it again. So, John even remembers the score. Avery won 72-71.
Wow, that's a tight match. Yeah,
that's great. So that was just want to cover that engagement. Love you both, AJ and Avery, and wishing you all the happiness in the future. Obviously, we'll all be involved together with that, but just definitely wanted to talk about that off the top of the show here. So very cool. So so now we're going to move on to our next subject, the Jeanette Fowler Memorial Tournament. Obviously, Jeanette, huge in the bowling community in the Lewiston-Auburn area, someone we all know for a long time.
Big supporter of youth bowling.
Yes, definitely.
Jen Cody, who is her niece.
Your niece, I believe, grandniece or grandniece or something. Something like that.
However it was, she not only supported Jen's game, but all of youth bowling in the Lewiston-Auburn area. So this memorial tournament, which is happening Sunday, this Sunday, March 5th, starts at 10 a.m. I believe there are still spots open.
Yeah, at Just-in-Time Recreation in Lewiston, obviously, which makes sense. Yep.
And if you look on the Just-in-Time Facebook page or Caleb Burgess.
Caleb Burgess is, you want to contact Caleb. He's the tournament director for that.
So if you're friends with Caleb, you can contact him as well. It's only $25. It's a memorial, probably, some sort of sponsorship tournament. It's going to be a good time supporting, just a great person who was, just a good person in the bowling community that unfortunately we lost.
Absolutely. So definitely, if you're in the area or can be in the area, check that out. The proceeds from that tournament, I'm not sure exactly what they're going to. Caleb has all that information, but I definitely know the proceeds will be getting paid out for a very good cause. So definitely check that out Sunday at Just-in-Time Recreation. Definitely. And obviously, our condolences to Jeanette's family and everyone involved. So.
Yeah. And if nothing else, it does show good support for Jen and the rest of their family. So just by showing up. And plus, hey, you get to have fun and roll the ball,
And John did have one more comment saying good luck to AJ and Avery. So I just want to make sure we get that on the air as well.
Absolutely.
All right. So we also want to cover next subject, 2023 BoPo All Star Tournament review. So basically the All Star Tournament took the top 32 averages, right? Is that what we started with?
A little bit different this year.
A little bit different singles tournament, not a team event. I think I've won an all-star tournament in the team event before. You've won one with your team as well.
And it was a Baker format.
Which is was always fun. This year was a singles tournament. So head-to-head, one-game matches, which was wild and crazy. Typical BoPo, crazy, fun.
Crazy,
So you and I both bowled in it. We both had early exits. I needed a second strike in the 10th to force Ricky the Razor to then double in the 10th. And I went strike and then a stone 9-pin, I believe, on the second shot in the 10th. Really good shot. But Ricky, you just definitely tip my hat to Ricky. He bowled well, beat me in that round. I think he ended up losing the next round to, I can't remember who it was now. Might have been Pooh Bear. Anyways.
Pooh Bear had a hell of a day.
Pooh Bear bowled great. So,
hell of a day.
But so it was a fun tournament. We got to call the action live on the Frankie and Ding Dong show. You guys probably were watching. If you weren't watching, it's on our page saved, on our YouTube channel saved. You can go back and watch anytime you want. Whole tournament's on there. So,
there's a couple things I want to say, about that tournament. It not only was it cool, different format, a lot of fun, and super BoPo-ish, where anything can happen because one-game matches, you either find a look or you don't. And so I was on 5 and 6, and the ball reaction on 5 was absolutely trash. And I was bowling against Dirty Lou, and as we know, Dirty Lou is a lefty, right? She shapes the ball great. She had a great look. I thought with how 5 was acting so bad, I thought that Dirty Lou had a really good chance at going very, very deep in this tournament because being a lefty, I figured 5 wasn't going to handicap her as much as it would the righties in the bracket.
Right.
And so I'm really surprised. Dirty Lou beat me handedly because I had all the splits. Like I said, didn't really have a good look. She had a pretty good look, so I really thought she was going to go deep in that tournament, being the lefty. So, but unfortunately, she didn't. But what I will say is, Urban Legend with the win.
Yeah.
All season, he has amazed me with how he's been able to work that Viper pattern, being able to stand inside.
Right. He's able to actually play inside, get the ball a hole through the mids, and create shape down lane, where a lot of us are having an issue when you get in on Viper. It just wants to start so fast.
Yeah. And we even saw Pooh Bear work the inside a little bit during that tournament this week. But I got to tell you, watching Herb, it's just been magic this season. Watch him work that inside. Now, of course, the 31 plus mils of oil probably helps him moving inside like that. But like you said, Frankie, when you're playing on a short pattern, normally your brain tells you don't go in because it's going to check mark and you're going to be picking 3 off the left all day. And or you're going to throw it at the ditch and it's never going to recover and you're going to be looking at washout. To watch Herb stand inside, play about, 15 at the arrows, laying it down in the 20, 21 range, getting it to really banana back on that pattern has been absolutely incredible to watch. And, I already busted it. He came through with the win.
Yeah.
It was absolutely incredible. He had a tough go that first game against the 31st seed. Was actually giving him a run, which big shout out to Strike Oppose.
Yeah.
Holy crap, she gave him a run, but luckily he made it because he ended up winning it.
Right.
Then on the other side of that, we had like the bracket buster of a lifetime, like the big what everyone was talking about during the day. Shooter McGill from the 32nd seed, beating Tommy Guns, one of the hottest bowlers.
My pair of lanes,
one of the hottest bowlers in the last couple of seasons.
Right, he was not getting. He only brought a couple balls with him. Wasn't getting it to shape quite as well, and
that's right because he did just change his grip.
He changed his grip, so he only had a couple balls kind of set up with the new grip. So I mean, that's not an excuse. Don't get me wrong, because Shooter McGill bowled phenomenal. She bowled great, and she actually gave it a run in that next round game where she was close for about 6 or 7 frames. And so she bowled great. And I even told that afterwards. I'm like, you bowled really good.
She did bowl.
Sonny D was actually saying, yes, ton of first round upsets. I want to say it was like the 1, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, all gone in the first round. Gone.
Absolutely. I was a higher seed.
Me too.
And Dirty Lou beat me.
Same here. So, I mean, that's what the fun thing about these tournaments. We actually, during the tournament, we had Carl Hungus come in and talk to us about, sacrificing revenue for basically giving a tip to your bowlers, tip of the hat to the bowlers that support you.
That community,
you know what I mean? The community feel and everything. And I 100% agree with them. There are times where there are things bigger than money. And that was one of those times where it was bigger than money because we went through, 5 or 6 rounds and we still had a good 50 people sitting behind us watching at the end of the telecast, and cheering and hooting and hollering,
eating food,
getting food, hanging out. So, and most of those bowlers didn't even bowl the tournament. They were just there hanging out, having a good time.
100%. You know what? Because we only had 32 bowlers in the tournament altogether.
Right. So, that's the type of thing that I love Bayside for, and I love what we do. And Hungus brings that, and he gets it. And hopefully other proprietors kind of pay attention. They should be able to see it on things like our streams, things that Bayside does. But that's a thing I love about bringing this to more people out there watching with the live streams, with our weekly show, talking about this stuff, telling people this is some of the good stuff we do, and if, we like to take ideas from other places, but please feel free. You see the things we're doing, if that's working here, what Charlie's done and stuff like that, try and implement it. Trust me, it works.
Yeah. And I got to tell you guys, if you weren't watching and paying attention, you guys really missed out because Charlie kind of came over and that was like one of those gifts, like $1 million worth of free knowledge right there that he just, kind of bestowed upon all of us, and
like people always ask the question, like, how does Bayside do what they do? How are you able to create that? that was, like you said, giving you those nuggets. Like, this is kind of what I do, and you know, this is what we just, you know, this is how we make it work.
And he's absolutely right, and he's been doing that for years, just doing these little things like that. And like he said, he sacrificed maybe $2,000 or $3,000 in revenue for that night.
Yeah.
But look at, you know, like the community of the bowlers that were in it, the bowlers that are going to want to try to get into the All-Star game next season potentially, and how much more practice they might do throughout the year. Just the people hanging out, supporting the community. Every bowler supporting every other bowler, where you're bowling against them or with them, because, you know, we're not out there like bowling for money. We're bowling. Herb won literally a bowling
pin. Bowling pin with like a nice design on it,
beautiful,
and he was super proud of that, as he should be.
Right,
that's, you know,
that's
awesome.
Just as good as anything else. And like,
let's get the big prize money to the pro bowlers. Let's let them guys, you know, get the recognition they deserve. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And yes, we do have big money tournaments. I'm not saying that we don't.
Yeah, but that's not the norm everyday thing.
Right. Yeah. But if you're just trying to create a bowling community and create like just happiness and craziness in the game, and still put down the tough conditions and still get the people to show up, you do little things like this. And like I said, it people who weren't paying attention may have missed it.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you right now, if you missed that little bit of it was like a pot of gold, man. It was like St. Patty's Day landed right there at that tournament. What was it? Wednesday night.
Yep.
Right beside us. Threw down a pot of gold in our friend.
It's saved on our page, our YouTube channel. Go back and watch it. I want to say it's probably about 2/3 of the way through the tournament.
You owe it to yourself, because Charlie
is amazing, and you know, we really appreciated all that. And so, and if you want to see how that community also then gives back to the center and to Hungus, see how many entries come in for king shit, queen shit, and doubles qualifying.
100%.
That's where you'll see the bowlers coming and giving back. You know, just giving up $15 at a time, saying, you know what, I'm gonna keep trying to qualify because I love this place. I love what we're all about. Doesn't matter if I qualify or not. I'll enter 2, 3, 4, 5 times. It doesn't matter. If the center's getting the money, if I get in, great. If not, I'll support whoever's there bowling if I don't get in.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. Supporting the center that also supports you. And you got to see that working both ways in the span of a week.
Yeah. And, you know, and it really works because, like, for instance, Tuesday night, we go in, and before we bowl, there's a bowler who doesn't even bowl Tuesday nights, who's in there practicing by himself for an hour before league.
Yep.
Now, how many other leagues do you go into when you bowl and there's somebody who bowls another night of the week who's actually in there practicing for an hour before we bowl league? It doesn't usually happen. But here at BoPo, we're bowling on the tougher shot.
Yep.
So not only are you constantly trying to master that and constantly trying to get into one of these cool things like maybe the All Star tournament or whatnot, but it's just you want to be there. You want to be part of the vibe, and you want to hang out and watch other people bowl league in this house. And that's what this bowler did.
Yep.
He sat back there and cheered on the league players after just hanging out. You know, and that's the type of community that Charlie's really supported. And, you know, that little bit of nugget of information he gave,
phenomenal.
You could take and you could really run with it if you wanted to, if you really understood what he was talking about.
All right, so that is our review of that. Oh, look at this. We have PWBA star Mallory Clark. Hey, my dudes. Happy Friday. How you doing, Mal?
Hey, Mal.
We were just talking about, I gave you a big shout out for the engagement photos and freezing your buns off out there at Portland Headlight. You and Jimmy both. Big shout out to you guys for all the love. Obviously, we love you guys. You're like a part of my family, have been for a long time. So thank you for making that special day even more special. So,
and we gave 7 last night.
Yeah, nice. And we also gave Splinter the shout out for his 300 last week and for that 30 out of 36 strike performance the other night, which is phenomenal.
Absolutely,
so we are now going to transition to the preview for the Carl's World Tour Polish Cup 41 coming up on March 12th at Bayside Bowl. Tournament's full, waiting list. Obviously, call the front desk at gmail.com, get on the waiting list. Definitely want to get on there if you haven't yet, because, I mean, we do burn through the waiting list. Things come up for bowlers, so you never know. And if you don't get on the waiting list, it's going to be really hard to get in. So, Mallory says, haha, it was awesome. So happy for AJ and Avery. Absolutely. Thank you very much. So this tournament's interesting, right?
These things are stinky.
I know. It smells like a glue factory here.
Holy,
so
yeah. I thought it said gorilla on the front door there for a minute. Jeez.
Yeah, it's just say BASF or something.
3M,
so,
on the door.
Yeah, so for real. So 41 feet. So a Bayside Bowl. I always tell people the shots in that building that usually play a little more forgiving are when you can play the gutter, something shorter than 38, 38 or less, or in that building when you get enough length and volume, you get 43 to 45 feet. Those can play a little easier, a little softer if you can play inside and just let it sit there.
As long as it's not the FDDS flat 50.
Our tournaments are different. It doesn't matter what the length is. We'll make it hard.
We'll make it hard. Yes.
Right.
True,
so,
true.
But this one here, 41 foot, is right in that wheelhouse. So I want to say the volume on this is in that 27, 28 range.
It's going to be tough, I think.
It's going to be tough. 41 feet in that building can get wonky because the gutters don't always play, but it doesn't have quite as much hold as you think it would through the track. It's kind of that funky, really depends how they break down and what pair you hit, and I think this cut here will be lower than the last one. I said the last one on that, the Vita 34, I said that's going to be the highest cut of the season, and that's exactly how that turned out. Yeah. Because 34 in that building, if you can bounce it, if you can play near the gutter, you're going to be able to score.
Oh, absolutely.
And that pattern actually had more hold inside than I can remember seeing on any 34-foot pattern.
Yeah,
it was weird.
It was weird. Very weird. Yeah,
I think it was honestly as the day went on. I think because of so much urethane going down the lane, that probably had a little bit to do with it.
Down
you know what I mean? Pushed it through the mids a little bit, but this one here is gonna be tough. I think we're looking at a cut score of, I'm thinking in that minus 40, minus 50 range, kind of 190 average, 185 to 190 average. I'm thinking probably get you in.
Yeah.
So right around that number.
With as good of a field as we have, I was thinking probably not minus 35-ish, probably. Minus 50, though, is not out of the realm. The other problem you have is, so let's face it, you're bowling on a short pattern, you're probably going to be playing the gutter. You're bowling on a long pattern, you're probably going to be squeezed inside, playing it pretty tight. Now, on these medium patterns, you have people playing everywhere.
Right. And that's what can make them super hard. Right.
So it's not like you have all of the bowlers playing one part of the area and then creating like a bumper of sorts, and then playing off of that, which is, kind of what I did like Tuesday night. I just used a big stall right on the outside.
Yeah, I was able to it rolled great for you. And then you transitioned
and just bounced it off that spot because I was able to bowl three games on the same pair.
Right.
Now this, we're going to be moving pair to pair. You're going to have 41 feet, so you're going to have some people playing urethane, some people playing resin, some people playing up the gutter, some people playing inside, some people trying to play the track.
Right.
It's going to start tough, and then the transition as you move, I think it's.
And then you get that game 4 squeeze when people are around the cut. They see that number after 3, and then that's where we call that the game 4 pucker, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
Mallory says. Wait, whoa, are we covering women's states on the 12-foot Arby's pattern?
12 foot? Wait, don't give us any ideas. 12-foot pattern?
We did a Whataburger pattern already for like our Whataburger pattern.
Yeah, you guys want something real tough?
Yeah. Adam Jordan, Crazy Train says, I love the flat 50. That flat 50 was
dirty.
It was gross.
Yeah.
The flat 30 I found it was fairly, I wouldn't say easy.
It had shape.
I could shape it all day long on that pattern.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't have kicked a ball of clay down the lane on that flat 50 and gotten anything out of it. Oh, Josh says it's only 20 mils. Okay, I was looking at the wrong Polish oil pattern.
So it's only 20 mils at 41 feet. Okay. So it's probably going to break down pretty quick because there's no reverse oil on the Envoy.
Yeah. Randy Plummer says -6. I'm sticking with -38 because I think right around -40. I'm going to go with -38. That's my prediction. A 190.5 average to get in. So
I'm saying -35 to -50 in that range.
Yeah. So we're kind of in lockstep on that one. So so that's kind of the preview of that. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm going to try a couple of different things in practice. I think my NV Tour is going to be a ball that gets a lot of play on that pattern. I can kind of get in a little bit, shape it. Who knows? We'll see what happens this weekend with some of the stuff that's sitting here on this counter.
I'll probably use my stealth. Let's face it, I use that on fucking everything lately.
This stealth's really good for you. What are you talking about? You might use the archetype.
Use that ball on
too. So all right. So speaking of the Polish Cup 41, we want to thank Brunswick Bowling for providing a raffle ball again. This month's ball will be the Knockout Bruiser, which has been one of the home run balls this season for Brunswick. Everyone that's drilled one, I have not heard a single bad thing about it. That is a great symmetric. It's got that the cover really has a nice grip to it. You know what I mean? Like that good
little like texture to it.
Yeah, like that textured solid like to it. You know what I mean?
Look.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, so definitely want to get in that. We'll have the tickets at the check-in table for you. Also want to thank Boulder Builders Pro Shops for sponsoring, again, all the events this season, free drilling. Jimmy Clark, obviously one of my brothers, your brother too, just taking care of everybody again. And so, obviously, again, that's that whole giving back thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, so it's really good. So, Josh says, thinking the outer limits, maybe for Frankie. It's not a bad call.
I'd like to give a little plug, actually, too. Bayside High Rollers is still doing their ball raffle. All right. We're having it March 14th. We'll be drawing.
For the drawing? I got tickets in for that.
Anyway. So if find Bayside High Rollers player, check us out on Facebook. Yep. We have ways to buy them digitally. Still have a chance to get in on that raffle.
All right. So speaking of it, yes, I have raffle tickets for that. Definitely love supporting the high school teams any way we can. So really cool. So let's get into it. Sonny D just alluded to it, the outer limits. We have upcoming Radical releases on your bench here. These fresh bad boys just came in. We have the outer limits, which is
stinky.
Stinky.
You can smell the hook.
It's got a new core concept designed from Radical, asymmetrical core, 2.499, differential 051, and an intermediate diff of 014. So pretty good numbers on this ball here.
Yeah.
HK22 cover. It absolutely pops. That hyperkinetic. You can listen. Can you hear that? Listen.
Yeah.
And it stinks. I'm telling you. Hybrid ball. Hybrid reactive ball. Really, really excited to actually punch this one up. I think I actually talked to AJ Chapman about this a little bit. I'm going to go with the same layout on my NV Tour that I have. So we're going to basically just match that layout on that ball. And so that's one you definitely want to check out. If you're looking for something hybrid that's going to give you, I think this thing should definitely come off the spot pretty good on the back part of the lane. I mean, this thing should motor. So,
and I don't know if you guys can see this at home, but I'll tell you right now, this ball does not have shine on it, folks. This ball has texture on it.
It does.
And it looks that good, that HK22 cover stock, even with the texture, it really pops. I'm telling you guys.
It does. It looks great. So the other one coming out on March 23rd from Radical, the Innovator Solid, the second ball in the Mo Heritage Series. The original Innovator sitting right behind me.
Yeah.
Ball that helped get me to our first place trios at the Just-in-Time tournament, along with a Katana Assault at the Just-in-Time Shootout. Loved that ball. So I'm really looking forward to this. I'm actually giving a shout out and harken back to conversation Mo and I had before he passed away with what I'm doing with the layout for this one. So basically doing a Mo Pinnell recommended layout for me specifically with my little bit higher tilt. I've never had good luck with short pin balls. They can get to the pocket for me. I just can't get corners out with them. And so Mo said, because of my numbers and the way I throw the ball, we're going to go with a different layout for that. But basically to mimic like a short pin, but for a guy's a little higher tilt to get the ball to still continue and get that weight block to still keep rolling. So really excited about that. So I'll definitely, the numbers on that one, pretty substantial on that one too. Actually a little bit less intermediate differential than the outer limits on this one. This one's got only an 012, but a higher total differential of 053 and a lower RG of 2477 than the outer limit. So this is a ball that's definitely going to pick up, flare a little bit quicker. You know what I mean? Pick up the mid lane,
a little stronger,
churn through the oil. Better ball and a little heavier volume than this one probably. But I think you'll see like a lot of like the tour players and stuff loving like the outer limits because it's a ball that's got teeth but should still kind of get down better than like the Innovator. But Tom Doherty had actually polished one of these and Bill O'Neill was using this last week in Shawnee. and they both bowled really well with that Innovator Solid. So pretty excited about both of these releases, to be honest with you. Oh, Josh Alfonso says Jimmy's looked gross today, and by gross he means awesome, because that thing was covering like every board on the lane in Jimmy's video yet today. It was great.
He was lofting the gutter on the left-hand side, and it did look great.
And I'll tell you, for Jimmy to use a asymmetric solid, that's impressive.
That's
because
saying something.
Right.
Because it didn't roll out and hit dead if you watch the video.
No, it kept going
through the pins.
Yeah, I mean, that thing hooked almost every board in the lane and still was going left.
So and I got to tell you, at the demo day, I think this one's going to be a winner, because I tried, and the regular Innovator, I found on the Pro-Am lanes down there that it was a little clean through the front.
Yeah.
So I think if you guys are bowling on that type of surface, I think you'll like the Innovator Solid a
Makes
little bit
sense.
better, because it's going to actually read the lane a little bit better through the mids. So if you guys bowl on HPLs and that type of stuff, that's when that original Innovator is going to be a little bit better, probably ball reaction for you guys. But there you go. Hey, Radical bringing it to you with those different shapes depending on what you're bowling on and what you need to see.
Right. And like Josh was saying, Jimmy's was even on a leftover oil pattern. He was able to loft that ball, get it down the lane on a leftover broken down house shot, and was still able to get it to continue. So on a fresh pattern, I'm really excited to see what that ball can do, for sure.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Both of those balls available now for pre-order from Bowler Builders Pro Shops. Definitely get a hold of Jimmy, me, Levi. If you want more information, let us know. I'm going to get some real world info for you this coming week. I'm going to get these things drilled up, and I'm going to let you know what I think of them, for sure.
How can you not like this little conspiracy-esque?
It is. Yeah, 100% what that is. I mean, absolutely. It's got the little conspiracy spaceship on there.
Yeah, you gotta love that. I mean,
100%. Yeah, I agree.
That alone.
So check those out. RadicalBowling.com is where you can check out all the information on the balls, drill sheets, the whole bit. So one thing Radical does, I like that they show you the post drilling numbers of the balls, which is huge, because I mean, one thing that pre-drilling numbers are great, but they don't mean a dang thing once you put a hole in the ball. So the post numbers are really what you're interested in, and that's one thing I love that Radical does.
So to be fair, Radical, that is one thing that they've always thought about when designing a ball. They don't care about what the ball looks like when it's sitting there on the bench, on the wall. They want to know what it's going to do once you put holes in it and start rolling the ball, which is what you should be worried about. And Radical is always worried about it. They're always thinking about it, always seeing how they can improve upon it. And even back when we had balance holes, they would give you the numbers post drilling, even with the balance holes.
A P2, a P3, a P4, all the locations of a balance hole you'd ever need. Yeah. And, like Mo was saying, we can get you to like 0.80 differential with these balance holes. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. That USB-C rule says 0.6. It don't matter. We can get you higher. Yeah. You know what I mean? And nothing they can do about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's great that Radical is still like looking into all of these actual real world numbers, because as we know, it's not the static weights that matter. It's the actual physical ball once it's moving down the lanes, the physics of the ball.
All right. So they're also going to do more urethane for Frankie. The new Hammer Purple pin, pearl urethane, just a little harder version, basically, of the
1 point on the scale.
1 point, 72 to 73. Yeah. Basically moving the goalposts from other organizations, because people are having a hard time beating people throwing these, is my opinion. So
whatever it may be, it's just the next thing in the lineup,
Well, I think what they're trying to do is to solve the whole mystery of urethanes getting softer. I think they've done it forever. I think urethanes have gotten softer all the way back to the early and mid 80s. Just no one cared about it before. So
you got to figure before the urethane, you had the soaker balls. People were soaking them, trying to get them softer. I mean, that's not anything new, really, honestly.
Right. So, anyways, I still want someone to show me the actual percentage of increase in score if your urethane ball goes down 2 or 3 or 4 points. No one can seem to tell me that. They're like, oh, they get softer, so we don't want that. It's cheating, whatever you want to call it. Show me the real world numbers.
Still going to repeat.
Show me a real world number of a urethane that's at 70 instead of a urethane that's at 73, and what the percentage of scores with the guy throwing it at that, as opposed to when he's throwing it at 73. No one can still quantify those numbers. So to me, until you quantify a number to me, I'm a scientific guy, right? I'm a laboratorian. So for me, I want to see evidence.
Yeah.
So until someone shows me evidence, it's just conjecture. So we'll see what happens with it. Anyways, I'm excited for it. I'm gonna try drilling a couple of these and just see how they compare to my other purples that I have, my green pin ones. So, which I do like a lot. So,
which I bet you a lot of our viewers are going to be interested.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll get some real world numbers. We'll get them down the lane, and I mean, I throw a lot of urethane, so I'll be able to tell pretty quickly how close it is. And you'll see next to Ding Dong over there, Frankie went overseas and got himself a black solid urethane hammer.
This is a new pour one too.
Yeah, she's a freshie. So pretty excited to drill that. So Derek Misher checking in. What's up, Derek? I like what you're doing with your YouTube interviews and everything. Really cool, dude. Excited for you building what you're doing there, and anytime that people can expand the knowledge base and get more eyeballs on bowlers and professional bowlers or amateur bowlers, whoever it is. Really cool stuff you're doing there, Derek. So keep it up, man. Definitely. I'm glad you're in here watching us tonight. But yeah, so pretty excited to drill that black solid urethane. The numbers on that, pretty similar to what we see out of the purple. It's just it's a smoother, solid cover. It's supposed to be a little bit less aggressive than the purple. You got the numbers of 265 RG, 015 differential. That's what you got. That's it. Basically the same numbers as the purple. Basically, It's all cover difference on this one. So, but that 265 RG with less cover is definitely should be pretty clean and smooth. You know what I mean? Just nice arcing reaction. I basically wanted to get it to replace some of one of my older 16-pound urethane balls. That was a fairly smooth arcing ball.
I think it would be a good replacement for your U2, which is like that, that vintage old urethane. As we know, the purples, they're way stronger than the vintage old urethane.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure. Yeah. The purples, I think, would be probably closer to maybe like, do you remember like the purple nitro?
Purple nitro, I remember that.
Was pretty strong. Or even the crimson hammer.
Blue Crush, maybe, something like that.
Burgundy hammer.
Burgundy hammer. Yes, the Blue Crush was another that was a pretty strong ball.
But the other thing of those balls, though, those are all solid. So they were a little closer than these purple.
Right.
So again, the solid black is going to be a little bit closer to you, a little bit smoother. I think it's going to be a perfect replacement for your old urethane.
Derek Mishu says you're going to be a victim soon if you want. Yeah, absolutely, Derek. Message me. We'll chat. I'll definitely come on your show anytime, brother. Just let me know. We can shoot the breeze and talk about whatever you want. He goes, come on, let's chat. I'm 100% in. Let's do it. You want both of us on there? One of us? Either way, we'll do it. You want a whole Frankie and Ding Dong experience? We'll both come on. That's fine. So, like I said, we're always about building bowling, building up bowlers, talking up the sport, getting as many eyeballs on it as possible. That's what it's all about, for real. You know what I mean? So, and like I said, I love what you're doing. It's really cool stuff. So I'm excited. I got these 4 here to drill up. Technically 5 because I got 2 purple pins I'm going to drill up. So I'm going to get these on the lanes. And maybe, like I said, maybe when I drill these this weekend sometime, I'll do a little live stream right from the press and see if we can get some people talking about them.
Yeah.
More talking
about
what
I'm interested in, Frankie? I don't know if it said it online there. I'm wondering if this guy has dynamic core in it.
I think it's thick shell.
Oh, that's right.
It's thick shell right here.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, it's thick shell, same as this one.
That's how they get the RG so high.
So high, yes. Yeah, right. The thick shell is what does it. So, and I actually prefer that, like, especially in the urethanes, because I think it just how many urethanes actually ever crack?
Not only that, but I mean, that thick shell, you can definitely see it at the pins.
Yeah.
I think that's why, dollars to donuts. Let's come right down to it. The purple urethane hammer is one of the only balls out there that is a thick shell ball, right?
Right. So There's not many.
Why do you think people like it so much, and why do you think it hits the pin so much differently for these guys and carries a little bit more strikes? Because it has that old school 2-piece bowling ball feel at the pins.
So and it's true urethane. Good example. One of the purples I have on the rack here was in my bag for a week. I took it out of the bag and it still had lines on the ball.
Yeah,
so it's true. It's true urethane. There's a lot of urethanes out there that are not urethane. They're blends. They're still resin. Got some resin to them. If you have plasticizer in a ball, it's not urethane. That's basically the number one rule. So, so a lot of them are not true urethanes. It's true urethane. It definitely rolls like true urethane. So I'm excited for it, and I know that Ding Dong, you killed it a couple weeks ago with your Pink Widow urethane on Viper.
Yep.
We took the cover up to 2,000 on that. So a lot of urethane is, match up, but also getting that cover to the right, grit to get it to match up correctly. I actually probably should have started with my Pink Widow on 3 and 4, but that pair was actually hooking a little more than when we were on lane 8. That Pink Widow looked great for me.
Yeah.
But I get the 3 and 4, they were hooking a little bit more. That ball obviously flares much higher than the purple does.
Yeah.
So, but, it is what it is. And I love using urethane. I love being able to play straighter if I can. So,
well, and again, the 1 game matches, anything can happen.
Oh, yes.
You throw a couple red eyes in there, and then, it gives your opponent a really, really good chance. And, Urban Legends' first match was a perfect example of that, along with Tommy Guns. Not taking it against Strike Pose and Shooter McGill, they rolled amazing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Urban Legend really had to show up in order to beat Strike Pose, and let's face it, Tommy Guns would have actually had to pull a really good game to beat Shooter McGill, and unfortunately, he did have a couple red eyes that showed up in 1 game match, dude.
Yeah. So Derek actually checked back in. Let's do it. All right, man. So get a hold of us, and we'll definitely set up a time to get on your show for sure.
Yeah,
we'll definitely do it.
Yeah.
And we'll have to set up a time for you to come and do the same on our Fridays with Frankie with us sometime. We can do a split screen and get you right on the live show with us and do a back and forth with that. So we'd love to have you on here as well. That pretty much covers everything we had tonight. We covered a lot of stuff, except there's one more thing I want to talk about. I didn't create a banner for this, but we got the urethane thing gave me a great segue into it. So a lot of people compare bowling and golf, right? I mean, there's a lot of similarities as far as a lot of time between shots, your mental game, all this stuff, repeating swings and this and that.
Yeah.
And this talk about equipment too, right? I mean,
the
USGA is always tinkering with equipment rules and this, that, and the other. Kind of like what USBC does, or maybe even the PBA or whatever, trying to get things in line. So we talk about softness of bowling balls and people changing things in bowling, trying to get balls to do a certain thing.
Well, and that brought the purple pin.
The purple pin, and urethane's not being able to be used before August 1st of last year. Yeah, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But in the sport of golf, did you know, and I went through the entire rule book, there are many rules on the golf ball, but they do not have a single rule stating how soft or how hard a golf ball can be. The USGA doesn't give 2 squirts of piss about how soft your golf ball is. So take that for what it's worth. I mean, now they care about dimples, then they care about symmetry, and they care about maximum yardage of balls allowed and all this stuff. I mean, there's obviously a lot of rules, the size, everything for the golf ball. They don't have a rule against how soft your golf ball can be or how hard your golf ball can be. So
interesting.
It's very interesting.
And so that's not even making surface contact with anything. That's going through the air. So like air pressure and friction against
obviously
the air.
It's going to make a difference when it hits that club head too.
Absolutely.
I mean, a softer ball is going to sit on the club head a little bit longer, clearly. And that's going to affect the distance, going to affect the spin rate, it's going to affect all that stuff. But the USGA seems to think that doesn't really matter how soft or hard that is. Just it's more important just to worry about, other things with the golf ball and just making sure, like, again, it's you got the symmetry of the dimples on the ball.
Yep.
There's no rule on how the number of dimples, they just have to be equidistant over the whole ball, basically, is how that works. So. And the size of the ball obviously has to be a certain tolerance for size. So, but other than that, that's about it. So I just found that curious. No one cares.
They don't care about the softness of
the material. Doesn't really matter that much. As long as it just meets that maximum. This can't be over a certain max. 330 yards, I think, is under a controlled environment, basically. So
yeah. So okay. So if we're gonna open up that can of worms. There's something that really bothers me about the USBC and their surface hardness rule.
I agree. Okay. Well, I agree that there's things that bother me too, but
So here's my issue. Now you care so much about the hardness of the surface, this and that, blah blah blah.
Right.
But what about these labels? Like how now? Like feel this label, Frankie.
Yeah.
Run your hand over that label.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't think that doesn't affect how that ball rolls on the lane, if you drill it to roll over this label, then you're crazy.
Right.
Why doesn't USBC give a shit about that?
Good question.
Because that's like, I mean, we've used particle bowl balls from back. Remember with the tombstone that was outlawed and had so much texture?
Yeah.
These labels have at least as much texture as the Tombstone.
Agree. Yeah.
But they don't seem to care about how the labels affect.
Good
Now
question,
let's look at some of the other labels are actually indented. These ones stick out a little bit.
Right.
So, like, where's the studies on how the labels affect the ball's performance with the contact against the lane?
Right.
And how does the raised affect it? Or how does the other companies, like depressed logos, how do those affect the way it rolls? And why aren't we looking into that if you're so, like, stuck on surface hardness?
Right.
You're not talking about labels, and the labels are getting larger and larger on balls. Now you have bowl balls that have multiple different, like, brand labels on them as well.
For sure.
So, and I don't know.
There's so many different. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And again, the whole hardness thing, just to harken back to that. So again, tell me where you're getting more performance. Just like this, do a study on the labels. Like how much does it affect the performance? I would think
that would actually, like, change friction between the lane and the surface and the ball surface.
And a different bowler that catches more of the label as opposed to another bowler who doesn't.
Or even just like buying a ball with a big ass label on it and drill it so the label's right in your track.
Right. It could be. I mean, again, this is all great questions and things that people say, well, you shouldn't have rules if you're not going to enforce them. Okay, yeah, I understand that. So why don't we just get rid of the rule if it doesn't seem to make sense, or just modify the rule? You know what I mean? They modify rules all the time. I mean, they changed, what can and can't be used in competition. Some stuff can be used in league now, but you can't bring it to nationals, which is weird.
That is
weird. So it's legal for league, but not legal for that. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, like the Michael Jordan ball. Like I was just thinking about that. You talking about the grooves in the ball. Randy Plummer, the Michael Jordan basketball bowling ball is illegal because of the marks being too deep. Right. But I mean, if you compare that to some of the balls labels that are on the lead ball, I mean, how close are they? Like, what is the difference in that? You know what I mean?
How, like, let's say
what's allowed and what is, like, what is the tolerance? There's no like rule saying what the tolerance is for depth of a label, right? So,
and I hate to call it out, but let's say, like, let's go one of those Belmo balls, because you got Storm, you got the Storm logo on it. You got the Belmo logo on it. You got the ball logo on it.
Yeah.
And then you have the USBC and the serial number.
Right.
So you have all sorts of chances for the ball to roll over.
To not have a smooth surface to contact.
That's not even cover stock.
Right.
So, like, how does this affect?
Good question. I mean, again, it's one of those. Can you quantify it? And you'd have to do a long study and have a bowler bowl 100 games with a ball that rolls over all the label. 100 games with the ball drilled the same way, not hitting the label at all under the same conditions.
And specto, and you have to have everything.
So I think that maybe they just don't want to open that can of worms. But again, so these are great things. Would they listen to you? I don't know. I mean, they still haven't answered my question when I ask them why we don't have an app for Bowl TV on a Fire Stick or a Roku or an Apple TV.
And that's something we really should have. I mean,
come on. I mean, Flow Bowling had it. It worked great. I mean, as many problems that Flow had, Flow still had a great app. You can just fire it up on your Fire Stick, bang, start, go, see you later, right on your phone, everything. Now, the Bowl TV app is on the phone is still clunky. It locks up half the time. Sometimes you can't get it to go to the right place.
Got a screen mirror or whatever.
Right. So then, like, I have to plug my laptop into my TV with an HDMI cord to basically run two devices to watch it on one, which to me is crazy. But so, I mean, again, this is the same organization we're trusting to say what's legal and not legal for bowling equipment. So apparently now sports shots are 4-1 according to the same organization instead of 3-1 or 2-1. So So what's going on there? So anyways, that could be a whole separate show. We're almost to an hour now. I didn't mean to kind of devolve it into, into all that, but Derek Mishu said that, what bothers me about the USBC? The USBC. There you go. He goes, bring back ABC, WIBC. Well, I mean, it's just, I think they're focusing on the wrong things, and we should be able to get certain things just standardized. It's like, what, if too many people are complaining, I mean, I remember being young enough when I first started bowling, all we had was urethane, and polyester, right? Yep. And when resin came in, rubber was a big thing. But when the Excalibur came in and basically changed the whole game for everyone and resin started, they said everyone that was using resin was a cheater. The true traditional old school bowlers use urethane, and that's real bowling, using resin stuff. And then as the resin guys go along, the particle balls. Well, the guys that use particle balls are cheaters. Like the guys that use resin and urethane are the true bowlers, right? And now all of a sudden that's come full circle. Now the guys you bring urethane back. Now they're saying the guys that use urethane are cheating. Wait a minute, I thought the guys using resin were cheating. The guys using urethane were the traditionalists that could play up the lane and play the track and don't have to worry about hooking the whole lane to these cheater balls. And now the balls that go straighter are the cheater balls. Like I don't understand. You know what I mean? So they again, that's that whole moving the goalpost thing. Like it's taking the temperature of the room and just finding what you like. I guess I don't know. It's just weird. So
just trying to maybe it's a way for bowlers to take out their frustrations on something else. Because let's know, I mean, every bowler at some point you get frustrated. You know, we put so much time into our game.
I'll tell you this. I mean, that makes sense. Me as a bowler, I have never once lost to someone and blamed their bowling ball for my loss. I've never looked at a bowler and said, if that guy didn't have X bowling ball in his hand, I would have beat him. I can't believe he's throwing urethane, or I can't believe he's throwing resin. He bowled better than me. I've never even cared. I couldn't even tell you 99% of the time what someone bowled against me, what they were using for a ball.
Right.
Like looking back on it. Tell me the ball the guy was using to beat you 2 months ago in a tournament. Probably can't do it, right? Does it matter? Nope.
The only one I could even think of would be Colonel Sanders winning the one ball brawl with the WebMB. Just because you could only use one ball all day long. Right. So we talked about it on the telecast, what he was using.
Right.
But that would be like the only single ball that I can remember.
Right.
Like
so
somebody winning.
At the end of the day, is it the ball or the bowler that wins? It's the bowler at the end of the day. The bowler still has to throw it good, you know? And I think if we just kind of loosened up a lot of the stuff and we're concentrating on with the equipment specifications, I think that everyone would be a little bit happier. You know what I mean? If it's too big of a problem with urethane, then just ban it. Done. I think that's a dumb way to go.
I think so too.
It's because stupid.
Urethane's been out longer than reactive resin.
Right. So and reactive resins are still a urethane-based material.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're adding stuff to them to make them obviously do a different thing on the lane, but they're still all urethane-based. I mean, so what are we really talking about here?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like urethane is for control, 100%.
Right.
Like if you have to control the pocket, then if you're bowling on something tough, you're probably going to pull out urethane. If you're out there bowling on your house shot and you're like, you know, probably like 4-person teams and you're playing a different part of the lane than someone else,
almost no one's using it.
Need for it.
Right. Now with the crown of oil and then you have the dryer to the outside, that's what the reactive resin balls shine on. It's something that you can tug it, it'll hold. You miss right, it'll hook.
Right. And the lane is there to help you control the pocket already. Urethane we use to help control the pocket when we're bowling on stuff that's tough. When you're bowling on house, you already have control of the pocket just by what's built on the lane.
You're just looking for different shapes to get you better pink area at that point. I mean, you're going to get to the pocket with pretty much anything you've had.
Anything, with your eyes closed.
Right.
You're going to get to the pocket. So
that's kind of our little bit of diatribe on equipment and stuff like that. And I don't know. I just brought the golf aspect into it because I think it's funny that people like to compare bowling and golf, and then the sport of golf, which everyone says is like the pinnacle for following rules and this, that, and the other, doesn't have a single rule over the hardness of the ball that they actually use in competition. I just think that's kind of interesting. Just, so.
And I don't know. And you would think it would matter there, I mean, because.
it does matter, but I'm guessing in the grand scheme of things, they're saying that the ability of the player trumps whatever we would have for a rule for the softness of the ball itself.
Or the course itself.
Right.
So again, if you're on a tough, really fast green, I don't care how fucking soft your ball is.
And they don't, again, they're not caring about the easy municipal course that anyone can go up there and, that's a fairly decent golfer and shoot, near par. You know what I mean? Just because it's wide open and that's fun and who cares, right? They can, again, this is like the same thing like we do with tournaments and stuff, right? The oil man will always control scoring pace. I don't care what anyone tells me. That's 100% accurate. You can take any one of these balls in your hand and you bowl on our 30 and 50 flat, good luck averaging 200.
Right.
You take those same balls, this 4-ball arsenal, and we'll put a 12-1 crown out there, and you're going to average 240.
You'll average better than you would on the 50-30.
So, but that's, you know what I mean? So it's kind of that same thing. So the PGA, USGA are like, okay, when we get to the professional tournaments, we'll just make the courses. So we don't give a crap about how soft that ball is. It's going to be hard. You want to land it softer, fine. You're going to land it softer in the swale, or you want a harder ball so it can bounce off a tree further. Then go ahead. It doesn't matter.
Right.
That's kind of like my diatribe on USBC. Maybe you don't care quite as much about that. Yes, heavy. You need a minimum. I get it, but maybe not worry about if the ball loses 2 or 3 points.
Maybe worry about putting oil all the way to the gutter.
Right.
How about that?
Right.
Going back to taping.
How about we have a maximum on the oil ratios, like nothing more than like 7-1.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah. If you want to control scoring pace, Frankie told you right there, and he was absolutely right. The lane man controls scoring pace. And how do we know? We build our own fucking patterns.
Right.
And we build them fucking hard.
Right.
Or we can build them super easy, whatever you want.
Right.
But I'll tell you right now, you want a lower scoring pace, have us build you a tough pattern.
Build you something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what you use. Take a fucking purple hammer and soak it in acetone for a month. It don't matter. You're going to have a hard time scoring.
Right.
If we want you to have a hard time scoring, it doesn't matter what you use.
Yep.
And I think, that's exactly what you're saying. That's exactly the way the PGA thinks of it too.
Right.
If you're
we'll worry about the course. We don't, and we'll worry about, obviously the golf club and stuff. That's good. They have certain regulations for that. But that is in certain areas is not quite as strict as people think it is. After I was going through the whole rule book, and I was thinking there would be like a rule for every single minuscule thing, and there really isn't.
Right. So, plus, you don't hear like a bunch of golfers being like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, another golfer won with a Titleist, Pro D1 again, or whatever."
Right.
Right. They don't give a shit that. Great, they won the tournament. I don't care if you use Callaway's Titleist. I don't care if you use Nike golf clubs.
Right.
It doesn't really matter.
Right.
They actually managed the course better than you did for that week, and that's what the golfers care about.
Yeah, this seems like a lot of times bowlers are focused so much on the equipment the bowler's using to beat them rather than the bowler themselves who actually beat them and actually threw the ball pretty well.
Yeah.
So,
so I guess long story short, bowling, much like golf, you have to manage the course, and our course is the lane.
Absolutely.
And if you don't manage the lane correctly and the other guy manages it better than you,
he wins.
They're going to win.
Or they
no
win.
matter
she
what's
wins,
in
or whoever it is. Yeah.
Just like Dirty Lou did with me Wednesday night.
Like Ricky the Razor did with me.
Yeah.
I mean,
man,
it's how it
I
goes.
wanted Dirty Lou to go so deep in that tournament. I thought she had such a good luck.
I'll tell you, it was a great night. The whole, I was really down because I was dealing with a finger injury and everything Tuesday, really down on kind of things. And, you kind of gave me a pep talk later that night and everything. And then coming in Wednesday and putting just that one kind of bad night behind and saying, you know what? Yeah, this is pretty cool. Like what we're doing is awesome. It's bigger than anything I'm doing in the moment. And watching other people and their success always makes me happy. And the whole night was great. Yeah. And I didn't even, you always want to win, but I didn't care that I lost in the first round. I was cheering on Rick after that, and he just beat me. So it's definitely bigger than yourself, and, building that community is great. So.
Yeah, it was absolutely awesome. And, once again, big shout out to Urban Legend, Terry, man, the way you've been working that pattern this year, the Viper Oil pattern, has just been
awesome.
It's been
sure.
fun to watch. And, big shout out to Pooh Bear, too, man.
Pooh Bear had a great night. Yeah. Nice run. Almost got there. So,
a lot of fun.
He'll be there again for sure. Definitely one of our boys. So, pretty excited about that. But, we're just rambling on now, but we've had a great time tonight. We've been over an hour. We never go over an hour on the show, but we had a lot of stuff to cover tonight. So we'll be back, I'm sure, probably next Friday for another show. Derek, get a hold of us. We'll set something up with you for sure. Let us know when you want to come on. I'll definitely be checking out your different conversations you're having with people. I saw you had like Mallory and Heather Sterner, Danny Wiseman, some other people. So that's really cool. Definitely awesome that you're getting that off the ground and going. So I'm definitely going to check that out. And, we'll set something up. It'll be really cool. So, but until next time, I'm going to get these bad boys drilled up this weekend. Maybe get some videos out there, little teasers for people, and
make some dust.
Make some dust. We've got to make some dust. So remember March 23rd for these bad boys. The purple pins, I think, are starting to make their way into the distributors now. should be soon, very, very soon.
Yeah,
these in. So
for us, we don't really need to worry about it that much.
Right.
For those of you guys out there with the PBA card, you guys need to worry
those
about
guys,
it.
Yeah,
you already have those in your hand.
For sure. Yeah.
For us, we'll be getting them into the shop well before you ever will need. And to be quite honest, I don't think for us, for the amateur guys, I don't think they're ever going to outlaw like the green pins or any of the older ones.
I mean, I'll still, obviously, I have some favorites that I'm going to keep and use and stuff like that, but I just really more or less want to compare how this is rolling to the green pins and see. I've got some information from some of the guys I talked to on tour and then what they're saying and everything. So going to go with a couple of layouts that I think are going to work pretty good for these, and we'll see what happens. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Derek did say that he hasn't had Heather yet, but he did have Parker and he had Steve Jarrow, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'll definitely check those ones out for sure, Derek. So so thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. We really appreciate it. We'll be back again with another show probably next Friday, right before the Carl's World Tour event. We'll cover a recap of the Jeanette Fowler Memorial. You're going to be at that tournament.
Yep.
Probably talk about some of the real world info that I get from some of the new stuff that's coming out, and anything else that comes up, we'll definitely hit it in between. You got any high scores coming in, message them to me, message them to Ding Dong, and we'll definitely get them on the air for you.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean just like 300, 800.
No, if someone shot their career high or got game
first
series,
200,
first 200, whatever it is, we want to get it on there. Absolutely, great point.
Yeah.
Great point. We're not talking honor score shout outs. That's why we call it high score shout outs, because you know what? Whatever you get, if it's you've never shot a game over 170, you shot a 175, let us know about it. We want to get it out there for you. You should be proud of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
we're here to promote, and we want to see you guys get better. That's why we put out this tough stuff. We don't necessarily put out the tough stuff to just like kick you in the dick all day. We put out the tough stuff because we know it's making you a better player.
Absolutely. And that way, when our bowlers go to other events and go to other places, they can be competitive.
Right. Rather than going to the other places and being kicked in the dick, like out of the blue.
Right.
You're going to be like, oh, I pulled on tougher shit than this.
Right. Absolutely. So, yeah, and we're proud of what all of our bowlers do out there, and
absolutely.
Great, not only great bowlers, but great people in our community in the state of Maine that we have for, the people that we're involved with and everything. So it's really cool. So, all right. So thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. We really appreciate it. Definitely check us out. Our next show should be next Friday night, and then we will be live March 12th at the Carl's World Tour.
Baby.
And I'll tell you, by the time we get on the air, we will know all the points. Well, not all of them, but a pretty good idea of who's in, who's out. Hungus is on top of all that. I'm sure he will have a list going.
He is going
to like who needs to win, who doesn't, who, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I know he's going to be pumped.
It'll be pretty cool. So definitely check it out. We'll be live from Bayside Bowl on March 12th. And if there's anything that comes up in between, we'll have you covered. So until next time, for King Ding Dong, I am Frankie Abralon. Thank you so much for tuning into the show tonight. And as King Ding Dong always says,
get the kids in the center.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out.